Hello everyone, Cody here with my first ever One Piece card game YouTube video, and today we're going to be going over Sabo, one of the new leaders from set 5. I'm going to be playing Sabo in set 5 just because Sakazuki is so strong and he's going to be so prevalent in tournaments and all sorts of play forms, but I think Sabo has a pretty pretty good counter to Sakazuki's ability with his ability to save his characters from being KO'd. So Sabo's ability, you attach one Don to him, and if one of your characters was 5,000 power or more were to be KO'd, you can instead give that character power minus 1,000 for the turn. So this can stop them from using like Rob Lucci's or even if they swing at it with just their leader. The only thing that really gets around it is bottom decking, which is just there's nothing you can do to really stop that. It's just really powerful, but you can limit their ability to clear your board and kill off your characters with this ability. So first card, we're just running one of the OPO1 Monkey D. Luffy. It's a good character to get out early on, and it's nice to be able to attach 2 Rested Dawn to it and swing for 5 for a character that only costs 2 to play. And it's only a one. It's also a 1K counter if you need it. And then we have 4 of the Rush Zoros. This is one of the best cards for Sabo because you can play him on your second turn, and if you're going second, you can just use the leader ability, and if they swing into him, he's saved. He's right at the threshold of 5,000 power for the leader ability to activate, and this is one of the cards you want to see in your hand when you're facing Sakazuki, because it either makes them take the life early on or they're ditching cards to try and defend it, which is really good against Sakazuki. And next we got 4 Karasu. This is a really strong card. It's leader locked for Revolutionary Army leaders, which is what Sabo is. So on play, give up to one of your opponent's leader or characters minus 1,000 power this turn, which is really strong. I don't think there's any other card in the game that can give your opponent's leader minus 1,000 power, and then you can attack usually they'll be at 4,000 power, and then you can swing and it'll be really hard for them to defend it. And also, when attacking, you can do the same thing, minus 1,000 power to a leader or character. Really strong card. Definitely want to be seeing it most games, just because it makes it really hard for them to defend their life. Next, we got 4 Koala, 2K counter, and on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters power minus 3,000 this turn, kind of like an Otama. You don't really need it to be Koala, but I'm just running it because it fits in with the Revolutionary Army type. It's also a little more ranged with giving an additional 1,000 power reduction, which can be nice to combo with cards like Fire Fist and the Sabo, which can KO characters with a certain power. And we're running 2 of the super rare Sabos. I think this will be a devastating card to play against Sakazuki, since one of the blockers that they use is Rebecca, which is a 0 power, meaning you can KO another character that has 4,000 power or less along with Rebecca when you play him, which is really strong. Next we have 3 Lindberghs. You're able to KO a character with 3,000 power or less if you attach 2 Dawn to Lindbergh. Pretty strong for removing blockers or small characters, and it's also a trigger. You trash a card to play him. Next we have 4 of the starter deck Nami. This is a really good card for Sabo because activate main, give 1 Rested Dawn to a leader or character, and you can attach that Rested Dawn to Sabo so he can use his effect, and you can use your Dawn for whatever else you need it for. Next we're running 2 of the starter deck Luffy. Rush, down ×2, your opponent can't activate blocker. So this can be a really good card for going for game or getting characters that they can't block with. But we're at two of those, and then we have 2 of the 10-drop Luffys. It has Rush, and if your opponent activates blocker, KO one of your characters with 8,000 power or less. Really strong card. Don't always want to be using it. Sometimes, depending on how much board presence your opponent has or how many lives you're at, it's kind of dangerous to be using all your Dawn for it. But that's kind of where your blockers come in, and also this Nami card, being able to attach the extra Rested Dawn to your leader so you can save one of your characters if they swing at them the next turn. And then we're at 1 Sakazuki. I was at 2, but I'm not really liking this card too much just because Sabo doesn't really have any draw power, and having to trash a card just to KO one of their characters is pretty hurtful. But he's still a good card to get rid of some of their board presence, and then also get a 7k body on board. And next we're running 4 Surus, mostly just a 2k counter. You can use it to reduce cost, which I think it pairs with something in here. Maybe not, but yeah, mostly just a 2k counter for when you need it. I mean, it could pair with this Garp, but I don't really know a scenario where you would play this Garp. Again, the Garp's just a 2k counter. And we got 4 Borsalinos, pretty self-explanatory, a really powerful blocker. It's got 6k power on your opponent's turn, can't be KO'd by effects. And blockers are great to have with Sabo because you can just block with them and then use the leader ability, and you don't have to pitch any cards to save them, or you don't have to let your blockers die. Yeah, 2k counters, 4 Garps. Then we have 4 of the Sabo blockers, really strong card. It's got a 1k counter, and on play your characters can't be KO'd by effects till the start of your next turn, and draw 2, trash 2, helps cycle your hand a little bit. There's a lot of games where I'll have like 3 or even 4 of the blockers on board, just because your opponent really has a hard time getting rid of your characters with this leader effect, and also since Borsalino can't be KO'd by effects, and I'll eventually just kind of start swinging with a couple of them, just because I already have so many blockers. And next we're at 1 of Gum Gum Red Hawk. 2 Dawn, your leader or one of your characters gets plus 4,000 power, and KO one of your characters with 4,000 opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. Good for KOing a blocker. I don't think a lot of people are really expecting this card too much right now, so it's good for kind of surprising your opponent and making them kind of change their game plan a little bit if they realize that they don't have a blocker to defend themselves on the next turn. Then we're at 3 Rad Beams, really strong defense card. You get plus 4,000 power if you're at 2,000 or 2 or less life. I was at 4, but I had a couple of games where I had like all 4 of them in my hand when I needed characters, so I just went down to 3. And honestly, you don't really want to be getting into a really like long and late game with Sabo just because he's a lot better for, rushing the games out versus playing someone that's starving your life and building up their board while your cards are diminishing. You don't, I mean, at that point, the game would probably be over. This is one of the matchup that's bad for Sabo, like Rebecca, anyone that starves your life or is really good at not having like just a crazy amount of blockers or like yellow adding lives to themselves. Next we got 2 Fire Fists. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 power this turn, and if you have 2 or less life, KO one character with 0 or less power. And trigger, activate the card's main effect. This is one of my favorite cards from OPO5. It's really strong for getting rid of blockers for only 2 Don. And you can also use it with this Sabo to give someone minus 4,000 power and KO up to 2 characters. Pretty strong. And then we have 4,000 Brick Fist. Up to one of your leader or characters gets plus 2,000 power and KO an opponent's character with 2,000 power or less. So kind of similar to Houndblaze, but does not bottom deck it. Still a pretty good card because if your opponent is playing like small body blockers, especially like the Brûlés, which only have 1,000 power, because yellow will still probably be pretty prevalent this format with both Enel and Katakuri getting the Brûlé triggers off of life. This card can really come in handy. But yeah, that's the deck list. I think mainly just because Sakazuki is going to be so hard to beat with a lot of decks this format. I just think Sabo has a better counter to him. So I'm going to be playing him this set. And we'll hop into a game. So yeah, ideally, we got a Sakazuki. Oh, he just disconnected. Yeah, he probably knows that Sabo is kind of a hard matchup, but ideally, you always want to go second against Sakazuki. Take away their curve. They don't really have any good cards for going first, but I think usually I like having the Namis in my hand, but against Sakazuki, he can just KO it. So 3 Sabos in hand. Interesting. I guess right here we'll just play the Luffy, and we'll have, maybe we can play Karasu next turn, and then swing 5. I feel like I can just use Super here. It's a brand new, and I do want to play the Karasu, but then I won't have any Don for Sabo, so he could play a Lucci, and that would be devastating. I don't know. I'm just gonna go for it, and if you minus 1,000 power, we'll swing 5, so 4. And if he doesn't play the Lucci right here, that'd be good for us because then we can play a Sabo, and that'll save our characters from getting KO'd. But he could still just use a Houndblaze on one of them, which he probably will. And ideally, I would have liked to have the Rush Zoros in my hand just because it's a good card for getting swings in at him really fast, especially now that we have Karasu on board. So he takes that life, and we'll swing again, 2Ks out of it, and we'll see what he does here. Uh, 3,000 at him. Yeah, I'll just let that go. I'll take that one, and I'll just play a Borsalino. Got a 6 Don, and I feel like I should play the Sabo just to cycle my hand, because I do want to see some other cards, because we got multiple copies of different things. So, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 1 to Sabo, and I don't know if I should go for brand new or just for him. We'll just see if he lets Brando go. And can't swing with Karasu because he can just block if I want to play the Sabo. And we'll trash this. And Sabo. Okay, I'll just block with him. Plays a Manchuri. Looks like he's going to play the Hina. Oh no, he drew Rebecca from trash. Oh, I forgot the, yeah, it's the Rebecca that plays from trash, okay. So he just got another blocker on board, pretty much. And this card would be good, since he can't block with it if I attached on. I feel like I can just try and get the Nami on board. He'll probably be able to KO it easily, but then I can at least attach Rested Dawn to Sabo. And we got 7 left. I feel like I gotta get rid of Manchuri just so he can't search. So maybe we could just play another Karasu actually. Here, let's just do this. and just get rid of the Manchuri. And then can use Karasu's ability. I'll give, he'll probably block with one of them and counter, so I'll just give Sabo minus 1,000. And then we'll just use 6 again. Blocks, counters. And I don't know if I should just block with Sabo, or I mean attack with them. Force more cards out of his hand. Yeah, I think that'd be good. Because we're at 3 life anyways. And pitches another 2k. So we'll see what he does to deal with our board here. Looks like he's just trying to get rid of some characters. Kind of want to keep the 2Ks, but yeah, let's just pitch a Karasu. He's swinging with his blockers. We'll use the Sabo ability here. He swings with his blocker again. I feel like I should keep him on board, so I want to keep the Sabo, so we'll get rid of Suru. We'll see what he does here. Probably like a Mihawk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of where I was getting at with Sabo not really having any draw power, because now I need some other bigger bodies besides just Sabo. Well, I should probably just play the Sabo regardless. Oh, there's a big body. We'll trash. Rad Beam. And Suru. Arrested to him. And I want to get rid of one of his blockers just because I know I can't go for game here really. So let's go 7 and minus 1,000 to Sabo. And I can swing with this Sabo because I got this one to block if I really need it. So I want this Borsellino dead. And we'll go 8 at the Borsellino. He counters out of it, which is interesting. We'll see if he counters again. And he does with two cards. So we really reduced his hand size there, which is good. And I think next turn we'll be in a good position to play this Luffy, which if he activates blocker, I can just KO someone, and this is fine. I'll just use leader effect. might be setting something up to KO this. I don't know if I should counter this or not. Yeah, why not? And we can just block here. Actually, it's one of this blocker there, which is interesting. He's got another Rebecca. Draw 2k, 2 blockers. So yeah, this will be good to KO his board. So should probably just play this right off the bat and give this to Sabo for the leader effect, and just go 1 at Manchury. And I want to get rid of his Mihawk, but he'll probably block, but then I can just KO the other blocker. Unfortunately, the Mihawk is 1,000 power more, so I can't KO the Mihawk with Luffy's effect. I can't KO the Borsalino either because of his immunity, but we can just KO Barto. And KO the Borsalino, probably will not counter. And then we can just swing a couple times at life. Feel like we're in a pretty good spot here. We've got 1 blocker up, and also the Sabo ability. And if he counters out of this one, which he does, I feel like I just wanted to take the next life here with Sabo. And yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. We can defend 1 character with leader ability if he swings with Mihawk at him. I don't know what he's looking for here. Maybe a couple blockers? No, I don't think there's any Navy type blockers in the deck. Drew Great Eruption. Maybe he'll try and KO this. I really don't think he has the cards in hand for it. Looks like he's going to KO Karasu, but honestly, I think we win next turn regardless. So he trashed the Hina. Maybe he has another Rebecca in hand. And honestly, why not just do that? It doesn't matter. And we can save whatever he swings at. Use card action. And yeah, he just gave up. And he wants a rematch actually, but I'm just going to end the video right here just because I don't want it to be too long. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck list. Give it a try yourself. Make a couple changes if you want. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I could change a couple cards or anything about the gameplay that you want to chime in on. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, my first ever One Piece card game video, and yep, see you guys later.